I'm about as real as they come.
All my beats tailored by Joe. House Digital.
Maserati Rick in Detroit. Convertible bird in Miami. Graduated summa cum laude. Strip club made a tsunami. Carlton Hines with the ball game. Grateful Edmonds with the snowflakes. Craig Pettis in the M-Town. Sal Magluta with the boat game. Falcone with the cocaine. Like Freeway Ricky with the plug game. Like Monster Cody in South Central. Larry Davis from close range.
Next, Keefe D began to fill in the backstory of his association with Puffy Combs. He told us that he had met Puffy in 1993 through a mutual friend, a guy named Eric Zip Martin, who was a New York-based drug dealer.
Where does introduce you to Zip at?
We had a baseball game.
So is it like a high school field? Like a local
No, right out Park, South Park.
So, okay.
We used to play for like cases of champagne.
Do you know what brought Zip out here? Because he's originally from New York.
Yeah.
What was he out here for?
He just come out and party and have fun, you know. When he come to LA, he'd come and hang out with me. We go party.
When you're out in New York, is that when you meet Puff out there?
Not doing that. I met him, he gave a party at a little club down Santa Monica. Paradise.
On 24, Paradise 24 used to be?
Yeah, it was Paradise, yeah. On Santa Monica, right Harlem. That's where I met, first day I met Puff.
And Zip introduced you to this my boy. What did he introduce him as? This my friend, this my nephew?
That's my boy.
This my boy. Didn't they see themselves as relatives or anything like that? Like that was his nephew, or is that how he acted towards him?
No, this my boy, this Puff.
Zip, who knows about Puffy's offer to Keefe, says this is a good time to take care of that thing.
Shit, it was right there. This is a perfect opportunity, baby.
That was Zip talking?
Yeah.
Because of what happened with
Zip offers Keefe D the .40 caliber Glock that he has stashed in his Mercedes out in the parking lot.
So he told me in the lobby that he had some Jimmy.
Some what?
He had a Jimmy. In that big house. He had a little secret compartment. Thing popped out.
Popped up.
Popped off. Yeah.
In the armrest?
Yeah.
Keefe D claimed to have run into an associate of Puffy's named Darius D. Mac Rogers. According to Keefe, D. Mac claimed that Puffy had given Zip $500,000, but that Zip had never forwarded that money to Keefe.
I'm like, man, call your boy. He like, man, what's that still, man? What's Zip behind that shit? Zip got that money. I'm like, what? He like, yeah, man, dude gave Zip the money.
Using our federal funding and resources, on June 17th of 2008, we escorted Keefe D back to New York. We had identified the nightclub that Zip owned, called the Zip Code in Harlem.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out to Zips, and I want everybody to know that when you come here, we want to keep the peace and we want to keep it grown and sexy. Thanks for coming.
Good time, beautiful time. On Zip. Zip
Longevity on this. Longevity on this. Stevie. Go ahead, Stevie, tell him something.
Hey, I'm just here chilling out with my friend at Zips.
That's right, Stevie.
Food is good, music is good, and the wine is good.
And the wine is good. You're doing the damn thing, right? Yeah. Zip Code, let's keep on going, baby.
Yeah.
And this new album coming out, it's gonna be crazy. That's right. Talk about it. This is how you feel about this new album, Steve?
I'm excited about it.
That's right. And you better buy it too. Everybody.
Harlem.
That's right.
Harlem
in the house. That's right. That's right. We're gonna do, as soon as it come out, we're gonna have a live Stevie Wonder album party in Harlem with the good food.
Yeah. Stevie Wonder.
You heard it. You heard it. Now what?
Yeah. You understand me, Carl Thomas, Bad Boy 2005. You understand exactly what we're doing. We're
here at the zip code. You understand exactly what it is and what we're doing. Many are called, but the chosen are what? Few. Please believe that.
And you heard that from the C to the motherfucking T.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that order. Now what? Now what? Yeah. That's how I'm in. That's how I'm in. Yeah, y'all know you told me. Yeah, don't get out there, man. We ain't gonna get out there, no. Thanks for coming.
Yo, we back. It's your boy Popalot. Mobb ties. We on our way to Harlem with it. Uptown. All my niggas from Harlem, y'all niggas get in the comment box. This is definitely a Harlem story, but it's going to have ramifications worldwide. But no matter what, this story is always going to start and begin in Harlem. Old gangster style. Now, today, I'm going to be covering one of the people that I pretty much made the channel for and probably should have covered a long time. But the thing about the guy that I'm talking about and guys like this is they're old time and old school gangsters. So they were more in the shadows as to where a lot of the new gangsters, they're going to be in the forefront. You're going to see pictures of them. You're going to see them on things like social media. Though at that time, it wasn't things like social media, something tells me that the guy that we're covering today probably wouldn't have been on it if it was. Now, the guy that we're talking about today is going to be none other than the infamous Eric Von Zip Martin. Now, those of you guys not familiar with Eric Von Zip Martin, we can't blame you because, like I said, he's a figure in the shadows behind a lot of stuff, making things move that you probably see, but almost like a puppet master behind a puppet play. It's always going to be some people orchestrating certain things. Now, if you was to know about him, you might know about him from a documentary that was released in 2016 entitled Murder Rap, where it covered the deaths of Tupac Shakur as well as the death of Notorious B.I.G. Now, in that documentary, detectives will go on to break down the cases, lining up suspects, going through theories that they figured caused the set of events, as well as breaking down the East-West beef. Now, in the process of doing that, they came across a figure known as Eric Von Zip Martin. And when I say he was in the shadows, some places you're going to go, you're going to see that they have Earl Eric Martin is his full name. So he by all accounts might have gone by his middle name, with Von Zip being a nickname that he chose or that was given to him. But one thing is for sure, he was definitely a legendary figure, not only in Harlem, but it spanned across the globe. And like I said, he orchestrated a lot of things behind the scenes that people didn't know about. Most people are going to know about his infamous connection with the notorious Southside Crips, and definitely the reputation with Keefe D, who is said to be one of the top shot callers for the Southside Crips. But what most people don't know about Eric Von Zip is he was once part owner of a label called the Black Rock Music Group, or the Black Rock Music Label. And he, along that roster, he had the late, great Aaliyah before she tragically died in the plane accident in 2001. Now, he would end up succumbing to cancer in 2012. And they said his funeral was that of royalty. It was attended by Sean Puffy Combs. It was attended by Little Kim, Jay Mills, Mike Tyson, of course, who he was known to be a very, very close friend of. Now, just in the course of doing this Mobb Ties, I noticed that just on two occasions alone, he was to profit over $1 million. Mike Tyson would go on to say in an interview that he witnessed Von Zip relieve Don King of $600, as well as the $500,000 that was said to be paid to him by Puffy for a Southside Crip transaction that had to do with the Tupac Shakur assassination. So just that and alone, if you think about that, somebody that's just in those two transactions make $2 million, how much do you think that they made along the span of their lives? Now, the thing about him is he was an old gangster, so it's like he got more famous after his death than he was in life. Now, he was definitely a popular figure. Now, just to try to put that into perspective for you guys, according to multiple sources, Zip had previously established a relationship with the Southside Crips, who had allegedly been sending heroin with him to Harlem, as well as other drugs. So, and they said that his ties would go back as far as people like Frank Lucas, who were huge kingpins in the 70s, and even further than that to Ellsworth Bumpy Johnson, almost to the fact that Zip, his restaurant Zip Code, hosted the book release party for Bumpy Johnson's 93-year-old widow, madam, when she released the book Harlem Godfather in 2008. So that should kind of just let you know that the relationships that he built during the course of his life. Chuck Phillips, who was a famed writer with the LA Times, and his story is so crazy because he was the one that initially broke the rumors, or I guess the speculation surrounding the Dexter Isaac shooting with Tupac at Quad. And he pretty much broke that story as what was fueling the East and West rivalry. And now that story would end up getting retracted, and he would end up being fired and released from the LA Times. And just to kind of he was a somebody. He won a Pulitzer Prize, which is like the biggest prize that you could win as a reporter. So he went from being that to the top of the pedestal to them firing him. And he was the one that would go on to kind of put the ties of Zip Martin to Puffy to the Southside Crips, as well as the detective Greg Keating. So this is just kind of a whole full circle. And a lot of people probably gonna look at it and be like, well, look at his relationship with Puffy. And the only thing that I could think to it, what a lot of people don't know, is Puffy's dad was a gangster. And he was right in the mix with guys like Nicky Barnes. And I'm sure he probably crossed paths with Zip. So that's just that in alone. If you think about it, he was here with Bumpy, and he was doing business with Keefy D. So until his death to cancer in 2012, it's pretty much said that he was a gangster up until his death, because the FBI and the LAPD tried to put him back in contact with Keefy D after the missing $500,000. The payment came up. Keefy D said he just lost total contact, and what would happen was Keefy D would end up serving a jail sentence. So upon being released from jail, the FBI was said to had take Keefy D to New York to almost put him in like a sting operation with Zip. And Zip kind of was light on his feet, because they put Keefy D in that situation. Keefy D didn't even bring up the payment of the $500,000. He pretty much talked to Zip saying that he wanted to resurrect the drug business that they had been going. And Zip would go on to say how he was dealing with cancer. He's not where he was at one time. and he can put him with a lieutenant. And from what the FBI found out, or he can put him with a younger guy that he knew that can handle whatever he was trying to do. And from based on what Keefe D said, and based on Greg Keating's findings, the FBI determined that the person that Keefe D was going to put him with was just a lower level member in his drug organization. So he was definitely going to kind of keep that money going. So this is a tribute to him, and not only him, is his family, because if you go on any kind of social media and you can kind of hashtag just Zip Martin, and you will see the outpouring of love that he got, so much so where I had to just take some of the tweets that I came across and put them up there to kind of let him know. And like I say, he has a huge family. I want to say he had 2 sisters, Elise and Sandra, that he left in his memory, as well as 7 children: Keisha, Earl, Erica, Martini, Eric Jr., Alan, and Equan. Hope I said that all right. And grandchildren and everything. So any of y'all, if y'all tuned in, y'all tap in. We definitely want to hear from y'all. Get a little bit more about this legend. Y'all make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, on Twitter. It's your boy POP_ALOT. And we're going to be back with some more real trill spill shit. And y'all already know what it is. It's the Mobb. Mobb. Ties.